Hello, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be continuing on with whatever, I don't know. I don't really have a good plan for this stream, but we'll find something to work on, I'm sure. There's all kinds of problems in the game right now. So we're going to be working on, I know at least one thing that I want to do, so we'll get into that in just a second. But before I do, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for sale. It's my first commercial release as a full-time indie developer, and it's a great way to support my work if you go ahead and purchase it. So definitely check it out. The link for that is in the description below. And if you end up playing it, consider leaving a review. I've been stuck at 52 reviews for a couple weeks now, so an extra review or two would be nice. Also, I've got my Udemy courses. These will teach you how to build a complete game in the Godot engine with either GDScript or C#. I have one course with each language. So definitely check it out if you're interested. And again, this is a great way to support me as well. All those links are in the description below. So thank you in advance. And yeah, let's get into what we're doing today. So I think we're basically done with the enchant screen that we've been doing for the past several streams. But there's one thing that I need to do related to that, which is we need an icon for that thing on the map. So we'll go ahead and do that. And ooh, there's 3 grow boards there. And then we'll just take a look at the game and figure out what to do next here. So we need an icon for this enchantment there. So that's what we'll be doing. Hello, Aniki, welcome. Good to see you. Good morning to you. No schoolwork yet again. Awesome. Those are always good days. Rookie Tookie, yo, what's up? Welcome. Hello, iCode Stuff. Good to see you again. Good morning, Louis T. Good morning, Brian. Good to see you again. 75% off is a steal. Yeah, I mean, you can't take those Udemy discounts too seriously. They discount it quite frequently. And also, I'm not sure if that discount is global or if it's like on a per user or per browser basis. So the price shown there may not be the price that you see. That's all up to Udemy, you know. But in any case, let's go ahead and draw that icon for that thing. So assets, map icons. So I guess we'll draw a tentacle here. Icon enchant. That might be a little bit too windy. I think that works. Let's turn on the background color so I can see what this looks like. Okay. There we go. That looks decent enough. And then let's go ahead and draw some suckers, which I forgot how I was doing that. Oh, I think what I need to do is I'm going to draw these as a different color so I can see what I'm doing. Oh. Might just have to do little suckers like that. That's too big. I might have to come up with a way of doing smaller suckers here. That'll probably work. I'll just copy this a bunch of places. Actually, that works. And then I can add some highlighting here. Okay. Just trying to add a little bit of detail here. I think that's probably fine. Hello, Eunice. Welcome. Wish you good work. Thank you. Hello, Kenny Az. Welcome back. Good to see you. Submitted my game for the game jam with 3 minutes remaining, and there's a bug that random squares show up and my screen transitions don't work. Oh no. Typically, you can check the rules of the game jam, but typically the game jams allow you to push updates after the submission ends if they're only bug fixes. Maybe I shouldn't say typically. There are some game jams that allow you to do that, but some game jams also just lock the ability to upload new builds after the game is, or after the jam is over. So I would check and make sure, but I'm sorry, that's unfortunate. Yeah, you could also contact the mods and say, hey, can I just push this narrow fix? Hello, Arthur Genius, welcome. The suckers look weird. Is that the old suckers? Maybe to look better, smaller scale. That's what I'm going to try to do. I have no idea what's happening though. So I'm debugging right now. Well, does it work? Is it only in browser or does it happen on the desktop environment too? Where do you get SVGs from? I'm remaking my website. Oh, that's a good question. Are you looking for SVG like illustrations or icons? There was a website that I know of, public. There was a. My UX friend who does a lot of like web design mockups. There's a site that he uses. Let me ask him really quick and see if he can send me that website for you. Let me see. Oh, icons. So icons, there's a bunch of icon libraries. If you look for React icons, I don't know what you're using. Are you using like the typical TypeScript or JavaScript stack? But you can still look at this web page, React icons. If you just search React icons in Google, you'll find it. And even though you're not using React, This library is just pulling a bunch of different icon libraries into one package. So you can click into like an individual icon package, and then it will typically show you the GitHub repository for those icons, and you can pull those in. And even if you're not using like npm or anything, typically you can just go to the source directory and find the SVGs. I don't even know like where. Yeah, so here's a bunch of SVGs in here. So yeah, that's a great way that you can find any icons that you want. So hopefully that helps. It only happens with the export, does not happen in engine. So what I would check is it on are you on Windows? Sometimes that can be a case sensitivity issue where you have Godot operates in like a case insensitive manner, but Windows does not. So it may be the case that Godot is trying to reference a file with a different casing than the actual file as it exists on the disk, and it fails to load that, or it fails to run it for some reason. So I would check up on that if you could. I think it's because it's up close. Yeah, so if it's zoomed out a little bit, it might look okay. Let's put it in the game and we'll see. Windows build and HTML. Interesting. Sucker's looking good. Well, I'm getting mixed reviews here on the Suckers. Look good in preview. It's probably just weird up close. Yeah. Your tip about SFX packs was awesome. That's why I asked about SVGs. Well, hopefully that SVG thing is a good tip for you. Good morning, Ignosum. Welcome. Godot automatically rasterizes SVGs. I'm doing well. How are you doing, Nathan? Would it show if I export with debug? It might. If you export with debug and it runs the console at the same time, you may see an error in the console. What you could also do is if you have the exe, you can run the exe from a command prompt, and that will also allow you to see the output logs from the engine. Well, the tips, so for the SFX pack that I use, it's the Sonus GDC bundle, which is really good. Okay. Oh, shoot. You know what I just realized? I think I did all of these wrong. Okay. I think I did all these wrong. Oops. Or at least did some of these wrong. Let's see. Let's just do this. Oh, yard machines. I don't know if you can hear that. I might have to shut my window. Seven, 4. Okay, that's right. Did I do all these correctly? I think I did. Oh, I did. Okay. It was just the one that I did wrong. Cool. I think so. We'll check it out in game, I suppose. So we can put this in here now. Edit region, kerblam. Edit region here. Kerblam. All right, let's see what that does. Try that when I'm back at my test, making some gamer food. Nice. Oh, your desk? Around 30 gigabytes of sound effects in the pack, yeah. There are several Sonus GDC bundles. They're very large size, though I had to convert them to lower quality to store them. Yeah, some of the sounds are definitely useless. Like there's just a bunch of like, yeah, car engine sounds that aren't even that good, that would sound really out of place in a game. If you have grid enabled, you can do shift arrow key to move it in the direction you want. Oh, very interesting. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you. Do we have a tentacle? Of course, we generated a map without a tentacle. All the icons look okay, so I scared myself. I thought that I was doing the icons wrong. All the icons are supposed to have a black outline, and then the highlight should appear outside of that black outline. There we go. Enchant card, enchant card. Perfect. There is one thing that's kind of weird, though, which is... well... just fix that up a little bit. Why does that still look weird? Did it not update? Oh. I think I need it to be this. Ah, shoot. Okay, something is wrong, so let me do this. I'll try your tip here. Icon enchant, outline, outline, and then let's do this. Shift arrow. Ooh, look at that. Very nice, thank you. Okay, so that should work. Oops, I need to cut this and put it on here. There we go. That looks normal now. Okay, so now we've got this. Okay, perfect. Let me commit that. Restart my extensions, I guess, in VS Code. Oh goodness, what are we gonna work on? I don't even know. I mean, I know there's a ton of stuff to do, but... let me just take a look at how the game is. Okay, so we've got combat here. The board looks weird visually speaking. I need a new start combat button. There's a soft lock happening on the auto resolve sometimes, which I think is going to be a little bit tricky to resolve. You know what I think? I'm gonna try something. So the boss is a little bit too difficult, so I'm gonna probably redo the boss fight. But I also want to just generally lower the enemy health across the board, I think. I actually don't remember where that code is. Generate combat encounters. Get enemy board health. Let's just knock this down. Okay. Make the enemies a little bit easier. Also, yeah, okay. Increase board size right off the bat. This has 63 health. Let's go ahead and start. Boom. So this one still has a lot of health, but that's because it generated at a little bit of a higher tier. So we do need some kind of reward for killing the enemies. That was in place in the game, and then when I redid the map, that's no longer a thing. Maybe I can add sparkles to make it not look like the tentacle got hit. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I'm going to let that one sit for a little bit, though. Come back to it later, if necessary. Yeah, we get a lock here. Okay, maybe I should fix that. That auto-resolve lock needs to be fixed. So let's go ahead and take a look at the... Is it called speed controls? Yeah. So auto-resolve button, when this is pressed, I do Game Speed Manager auto-resolve, is auto-resolving, emit auto-resolve requested. On auto-resolve requested. While not is combat ended and not is combat ending. So what I'm assuming is if I were to run this and debug, this while loop is probably getting stuck. That while loop is probably getting stuck. So let's take a look. Okay, that one worked. System null reference exception. Oh, maybe that's the problem. What? That's not a very helpful... It's not a very helpful message, is it? Let's see if it happens again. No. Of course, it's not going to soft lock when I'm testing it here. Why is it not soft locking all of a sudden? That's not good. This is probably going to be a pain in the rear, if I had to guess. Oh, here we go. Oh, we got a bunch of null reference exceptions. Okay. All right, so is there a place where this is being logged? Let's see. Debug, editor, open editor data settings folder. Nope, that's not right. Open user data folder. So, okay, so there's a null reference exception happening, but it doesn't tell me where that's happening, and I don't have any logs. Okay, well, I guess I probably could have put a breakpoint in there, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So let's try it again. Did you hear that Godot is getting C# compatibility with web exports? Yes, I did. I also saw that GDScript is getting abstract classes, which is great. Started working on a new project. I'm following your advice with doing main mechanic first. Awesome, let me know how that goes. Did you already have an estimated release date? I don't, no. Love it when error messages are as helpful as this doesn't work, right? There's something happening that's causing a null reference. Who wants to sit here for 2 hours and debug this with me? Let's go. So there must be like a very specific condition where a null reference is being thrown. I don't know if I'm going to be able to suss out what that condition is without going through the breakpoint, so let's try it. Come on! I want my game to break. I can't debug unless you break. Please break. Please break. Oh. We'll just visit all the combat nodes. Hello, Junba, or Junba. How has the experience working with C# in Godot been? It's been fine, yeah. Any lack of documentation? No. No, I mean, even when there is a lack of C# explicit documentation, all the APIs are the same, they're just C#ified. So you can read the GDScript documentation, and it's pretty clear what the C# corollary would be, just by the fact that it's super consistent. It's just like, yeah, it's very straightforward, very easy to understand. I have not had any issues whatsoever. There are some minor differences, but nothing that you can't figure out pretty easily. Oh, shoot. No, I finally got it to soft lock and I wasn't running it in a debug mode. This is so, okay. Oh, I guess I could have attached to the process. I guess, oh, right. I guess I'm not on top of my game today. That's all right. Okay, there's a soft lock. Here we go. Oh, wait, no. Yep, here we go. Okay. All right, so now let's step into this. Let's see, where is this null reference exception? Can I just go and play? Will it catch on the exception? No. Why is it not catching on the exception? Oh, all exceptions. Text float set color. Oh, interesting. Why is it trying to heal? Text float is null. Create damage text float. Okay. Why would this be returning null? Oh, if is auto-resolving return null. Oh. Okay, here's what I'll do. I will make it so that I don't return a reference to a text float out of this method. And then I'll pass in the color, or I won't pass in the color. There's no reason, I can do the color in here. Color is equal to damage type switch. We'll set a default color. Game constants dot color white. So fire is orange, so that's good. Set color, color. So that's okay, we'll get rid of that one. And then there's one other one. This is heal, so that would be light green. And, oh, it's the same over here too. Okay, so I really just only need those. Damage type dot heal. Game constants dot color light green, otherwise color white. All right. Actually, you know what I'll do? Let's just return null here. If color dot has value, text float dot set color, color dot value. Okay, I think that'll fix it. So yeah, so anytime there was either fire or healing, that's when it would soft lock or hard lock. So now that should be fixed. Now my auto resolve should work. So there's no healing here. So this one would have worked anyway. Okay. There's healing. Okay, so here's one that would fail previously. And it's still locking. Why? Maybe we have another issue, similar issue. So let's do attach to process. Godot, I think it's the first one. Oh, no, it's not. Attach to process, Godot, this one. Null reference exception, object not set to an instance of object. Board combat component line 178. Okay, my logic is still wrong here. I don't know what this is. We'll get rid of that. Okay, we'll make this method always return a text float. But then what we'll do is we'll rename this. What I like to do, if something can return without doing something, I like to name it try. And what that does is that implies that there's a potential that this is going to fail. So the semantics are really important for developers. Previously, my method was just called create damage text float, which implies that it's always going to do what it's saying, right? But if there is a situation where you might return null or where you would just abort the method essentially, indicating that in the method name is usually a great way of communicating that. So try create damage float tells me, okay, the reason why I can't return a damage float out of here is because it may not create one. So, I mean, it's not terribly ideal, but I think that's going to be fine. So now we can check it out. Hi, have any advice to make the process of sit down for hours, put the ideas to work? I have ADHD and trying to make my first game. Yeah, it's just a habit that you can build up like any other. So instead of trying to immediately sit down for 3 hours, just try to do 15 minutes first. Just set a timer for 15 minutes and just bite the bullet and do nothing else but work on your game for 15 minutes. And that doesn't mean you have to be writing code for 15 minutes, but like actively try to do something in your game, even if that's just trying to understand a system that you wrote a while ago, like re-understand it or whatever. And just do that and do that. And when you can regularly do that, like either several times a day or once a day, then move up. Go to 30 minutes, you know, and just set a timer for 30 minutes and just bite the bullet and force yourself to do nothing else but work on the game for 30 minutes. Just start with lower expectations and then like build up your ability to sit for long periods of time. And if you do that regularly enough, I think you'll find that it gets easier. And even if you do need to do like just multiple half-hour segments per day, you know, there's nothing that says you have to sit down and do 3 hours of continuous work. If you could do like 3 or 4 sessions per day of 30 minutes, that may be more manageable. But that would be my advice to you, Ness. I was wondering if you could easily translate GDScript docs to C#. Yeah, VS Code setup looks really clean also. Thank you, yeah. Not on top of your game, both literally and figuratively, yes. Hello, Guy. I'm doing well, how are you doing? New Hazel, welcome. Good to see you. It moves, it chats. Nice. Does color.hasValue do a null check or do you need to add that? So that's a nullable type in C#. So color is a struct and structs cannot be null because they're not reference types. So generally speaking, anything that's not a reference type cannot be null. So what you can do in C# is you can convert it to a nullable type by adding the question mark at the end of the type specification. And that basically creates a nullable. So if I hover over this, well, that just indicates that it's nullable. But that creates a separate nullable object that has the ability to check, for instance, has value. So you can see that there's this public partial struct nullable here. And this basically just contains the value inside of there for you. It's kind of like a wrapper object that allows non-null values to have a way of checking if they're null. So in here, since this is nullable, I can assign null to it, and then to check if it's not null, I do has value. You cannot do color not equal to null, I don't think. Maybe you can. I don't think you can. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think you have to use the .hasValue check because I don't think, unless nullable overrides the equality, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, maybe I can do that. I was under the impression that I can't do that. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it the way it is. So I could be wrong about that one, but there was a reason that I thought I wasn't able to do a null check on a nullable like that. Hello, Vrabo. I'm loving your code review series. Thank you. I'm loving doing them. So glad you're enjoying them. I'm going to try to do another one by this weekend. I haven't actually recorded one yet, but I'm going to probably do that maybe today, actually. I'm a little bit not stuck, but I need to do some more planning on how to finish out the course that I'm working on. So right now I'm working on an online multiplayer course in GDScript that will be available on Udemy in the near future. But I've got 43 lessons recorded, which is about 9 hours of content, of video content. And so I just need to more carefully plan out how to wrap up the course. So I kind of need a break from that. I think it'll probably end up being around 70 or so lessons, like my other courses. It'll probably be around 14 to 16 hours of video content. You aren't breakpointing to find a problem with the null reference? No, I was. Yeah, I was. I think you weren't, maybe you weren't here for that, or maybe this was an old chat. I don't know. I tried to set up NVim with Godot, and it's ISP is not LSP is not working. Yeah, I don't know anything about NVim. I'm sorry. Hello, Alex. Game dev is going well, thank you. Yeah, multiplayer. I think you might look at my vibe coded one. Yeah, I think that's a candidate for sure. Honestly, I just let the responses come in. I don't look at them as they come in. And so I need to actually sit down and like look at all the responses, see which ones sound interesting, download the project. I typically download the project and just like take a quick look at it before I start recording, just because I want to know if the project is likely to be fruitful for video before I just start recording blindly and then find out, oh yeah, it's not that interesting, or there's not much to say, you know? I can send you the most updated build. Okay, did you send a build over email? Because if you have a Google Drive link, you can just throw the updated build, like overwrite the build. Because I haven't downloaded any of the projects. I download them right before I'm ready to start recording. I'm behind it. Gotcha. Do your courses go over prototyping? No, not explicitly. No. But we do, like, we build up from the scratch to final product. And so that involves, like, getting the basic mechanics in, writing scripts in a very naive way at first, and then refactoring gradually over the course of the course. How do you approach creating your courses and knowing what to put in each episode without messing things up? Do you create the whole project yourself first and divide lessons up by commits? No, I actually create the project as I'm recording them. So like when you go through the course, one of my courses, when I started recording the course, I didn't have anything created. So I just like create the course as I go. And usually it's just, I just think of like, what's the next most impactful thing to do as a lesson. So yeah, that's basically what I do. But yeah, the lessons are divided up by commits. So after each lesson I record, I commit that lesson, and then I'll be also including the full project at the end of each lesson as a downloadable zip file. So if you want to just jump to a specific lesson, you can get the project as it exists at that lesson, and then you can continue on. Okay, will do, Anna Banana. Will do. All right, we're testing. What are we testing? The auto resolve. Oof. So we need to find an enemy encounter that has a heal on it. I guess I could give myself a heal. Oh, there we go. Mutton. Let's do it. Okay, that appears to be working. Sacrifice that, boom. One thing that I still need to do that's bothering me is I need to have a way of backing out of all of the encounters. Because right now, if I go in here, I have no way of upgrading any card. So how would I do that? Maybe that would be a good thing to do, because this is a constant problem that I have with this game. Do you ever find yourself having to redo earlier lessons as the project goes on, or just refactor as the course goes on? So yeah, refactoring is a feature of the course, not a bug. So we do write imperfect code earlier on in the course, but that's by design, because I think one of the draws of my courses is that it's very organic, right? It's not, okay, I have the completed project and I'm just going to give you line by line all of the code as it exists in the final project. It's a very iterative course where because the value in that is you see what it looks like to actually build a game from the ground up, right? Like you see how natural it is to just get something working first, and then as the game grows in complexity, you reorganize things, you rewrite things, you move things around. And so yeah, we go through the refactoring. Now I do sometimes make mistakes, but sometimes I will have to re-record lessons. But typically when I edit the videos, I rewatch the entirety of the lesson that I recorded. And if there's something that doesn't make sense or if I made a mistake, that's usually the point where I catch it. And I could either splice in a correction into the video, or if I just did something completely wrong, then I'll just re-record the lesson. Been wanting to take a course that discusses how to get to a vertical slice because I feel like I get the idea of polish for a game, but when you're promoting your game, you have to have a slice, I assume. Yeah, I think so. I already like the live buying your course right now. I wanted to learn more C# with Godot, and you're the best YouTuber developer on this theme. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope you enjoy the course. Let me know what you think of it. For the multiplayer course, are you using pre-made assets or the same assets you made for the previous multiplayer game you were working on? It's actually a game that I made for GMTK Jam called Globins. I'm basically just taking the assets that I drew for that game and giving them out in the course. So yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do about sound effects, though. That's one thing that I'm still not sure about. So how am I going to do like an exit button for this? There are only 3 videos on the topic of Godot and NVim. Hello, Kay Zori. Welcome. We love globins, yes indeed. Make mouth noises into the mic for the sound effects, yeah. I'm sure my students will love that. Are there any game jams coming up that you recommend? GMTK Jam. That's at the end of July. Also, there's Kenny Jam, which happens this month, I think. Yeah, Kenny Game Jam. I'll submit my Godot 3X project I made in 2014. Awesome. Make all this up. Yeah. Godot Wild Jam is monthly. Yeah, I think I've done 1 or 2 Wild Jams, but I'm not sure. Okay, this game has so many problems. Goodness gracious. I'm like kind of paralyzed with what to work on next. I'm noticing all kinds of problems with the art. I'm noticing transition problems. Obviously the health globes need work, but I'm not going to do that right now. This button needs to be done. Kind of tempted to just make some new cards and fill the stream up with that. Actually, I have an idea for a skip button, so maybe I'll do that. Assets, UI. I'll just create a new folder for this, I suppose. Event skip. So what I kind of want to do is, let me think about this. Oops, already effed it up. So the idea is that I want to make a like a container. I want to make a container that fills up. Why is this not working? I don't understand. Okay, it's fine. Do I want this container to be... You know what I might do, actually? I might take some of the art that I already did. Nope, that's not right. I want to make it like a tube that fills up, I think. So, just for context, so in order to prevent the player from accidentally clicking the skip button and immediately skipping the encounter, what I want to do is I want to make it so that you have to hold the button to skip the encounter. And I think like a tube filling animation would be pretty cool for that. What am I doing? All right, we're getting rid of this symmetry. It's just not working. So if I do a tube filling, I'm just trying to stub this out a little bit. Just trying to stub it out a little bit, you know? I probably should make this. I don't like this. I like the idea of tubing and whatnot. Oh, goodness. Is it Kenny's birthday already? Is that the Kenny Jam? Is it on his birthday? Task paralysis, yes. Wouldn't those things be worked on during the polish phase as an example? Which things? Have you considered making cards that merge if they are placed near one another? You mean like upgrade or something? So I think in the Bazaar, you can upgrade a card by just dragging a card of the same type onto it. But I decided to make my upgrade cards functionality an actual like event on the map. So I don't know about merging cards together. There are certainly cards that have adjacency bonuses. So like if it's next to another card in the screen, then or on the grid, then it has extra abilities. I think the idea of making a card that's not functional until it is placed next to another card is an interesting one though. So maybe that could be a good idea. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Watched a recent video about the Gunforged earnings, and I love the transparency. Do you know how many hours you worked on that project? Many, many, many hours. Gunforged was in development in some form for 4 years. And that's not 4 years of continuous development. That's just like on and off. But you may look at that game and be like, how did this take 4 years to make? And the answer is, well, it didn't. The final version did not take 4 years to make, but the project existed for 4 years. Originally, it was like, you can go back and watch my really early Gunforge devlogs. The game was completely different. At first, it was supposed to be like a wizard with guns that you sling around and control, and then it merged into more of like an Enter the Gungeon clone, and then it merged more into like a Survivor style slash Brotato kind of game. So yeah, it's always good to polish during any phase. Yeah, so I mean, I think what's important to me, because I'm trying to get this game into a state where it can be playable by people, like a play test. And I think part of that, it's going to be important for it to feel reasonably polished, because what I want to do is basically, like, I forgot who said this, but have a vertical slice. Like, I want the playtest to be like a 5 or 10 minute snapshot of the game, and I think that you can represent that much better if you put a lot of effort into the polish, right? So if you can go into a game, even if it has limited content, if all of the effects feel good and all of the combat feels good and the experience feels really tight and all the animations are cool and all the art is nice, then it's much easier for people to get excited about a full release, because they're like, oh my gosh, this game feels great already, I want more of it, right? But if you leave, I mean, obviously there's a limit to everything, but that's just kind of how I think about it. I learned this mostly from game jams. You can actually make very mediocre games in game jams, and as long as all the effects and the art look and feel good, people are going to be like, this game is so fun. And I actually have a game jam tips video where I basically say that thing where I'm like, yeah, just make, if you don't have any ideas for the game jam to match the theme, just make a game that you want to make and put a bunch of effort into polishing and making it feel good, and you're going to get basically universally positive comments and good ratings. It's just weird. It's just weird how that works, but I think the visuals and the polish is actually a very, very important part, especially if you're trying to get people to get excited about your game so that they can eventually buy it in the future, you know? It's like the whole first impression thing. That's the way I'm thinking about it, though. That's not advice. Obviously, I don't know anything about game marketing or how to sell lots of copies, so don't take that as advice. That's just me sharing my thoughts on it. Spaghetti code is the tastiest code. Ectoscramsum. Oh man. The mistakes you pointed out in your game a while back in the stream. Oh, I see. I know what you mean. So like the knife and skeleton nearby becomes a knife wielding skeleton, now transformed to 2x2, but has combined stats better than the 2 1x2 cards. Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Any placement combos for alchemy, that is also an interesting idea. Looks matter a lot. Yes, indeed. I'll look up your game jam video. Awesome. How to earn top ranks in game jams. Yes, it's that one, yes. That one I actually do feel like I can speak on, because I've had a number of games that have placed very highly in game jams. Actually, I was almost in the top 20 for GMTK Jam 2023, I think. My game actually got featured in Mark Brown's video as like B-roll footage, but it wasn't one of the 20 that he called out in that video. It was just like, you know, a 3-second clip of him playing my game, and I was like, oh, I was so close. I was so close. How's progress looking? It's looking good. It's looking really good. Thank you for asking, and welcome back, Karto. Most people don't care about game mechanic artist number 1. Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, your game can't be carried by the art alone, but I think that's, like, the first thing. Like, if your game feels really good to play, it's going to mask the issues with the game for at least a period of time, which is perfect for game jams, because if people are only going to play your game for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then that's perfect. But for a full release, it's only going to fool people for so long before they start to realize that there's like mechanical problems with the game. I mean, that certainly happened to me as a player. I go into a game and like, oh, this game feels and looks great. And then like an hour later, I'm like, actually, there's some problems. But, you know, currently experiencing a fire drill. At least I think it's a drill. Well, I hope everyone's safe, and I hope it is indeed a drill. Mark Brown is a legend. Yes, indeed, Ali. Patrick, what's on the agenda for today? I don't know. I'm just kind of wasting time right now. I want to do a skip button, but you know what? I'm really feeling like not particularly inspired when it comes to the skip button here. I just don't know. I don't know what to do about this. So I need to be able to skip certain encounters, because if you don't have the required inputs for the encounter, like in the case of the upgrade encounter, then you'll just be soft locked on that screen, and that's not good. So I wanted to do a skip button that has like a something being filled, but I'm not feeling it today, honestly. Some days I'm like, the art is just like relatively easy, and then some days I'm just struggling to do basic things. You know what would be cool, actually? I have a different idea. All right, hear me out, hear me out. Hear me out, and then says nothing. That's probably too small. You'll see what I'm doing in just a second here. Okay, well, that looks a little odd, but that's all right. Okay, all right. Is that big enough? It might be big enough. Let's see. Okay. Whew. Okay, let's see if I can do this. This is going to be a challenge of my art skills, but let's do the challenge. I'm scared. Okay. Actually, let's do this. I know I haven't told you what I'm doing yet, but you're probably going to suss it out here. Oops, I keep doing that. Let's see. I'm just going to use a different color here. Come on, let me move just this, please. Come on, I don't want to move the whole thing. I want to move the selection, please. Can I move the selection, please? Thank you. Doesn't look terribly like a crow right now, but it looks more like a pigeon. But I'm just kind of like getting the basics in place here. And then I'll work on the shape a little bit more, but I'm just trying to get no. Nope. Ooh, that looks good. Okay, so we got that. So that would be behind. So yeah, there would be one leg behind, and then there would be another one ahead. And this would go up in here. Okay. Okay, we're kind of getting there. We are kind of getting there. Let's see. I'll catch up on chat in just a second here. I will catch up in just a second. I'm messing up all my layers now, but that's all right. I'm probably just going to merge all these anyway. Whoops. Whoops again. It does look like a pigeon, doesn't it? It does look like a pigeon, doesn't it? All right, that's fine. I'll have to look up some crows, I suppose. I think this just needs to be more pointed somehow. I don't know how to make it more pointed, though. That kind of works. That kind of works. Maybe if I take this now. Yeah, I'll have to look at it. It's okay. I will have to look at it. Crows are a little bit beefier. So anyway, oh my goodness, I have so many chats to catch up on. Prototype with core mechanics, a little art is fine, but same. Then some say you need a beautiful art for the first slice. I think it's a difference of, are you trying to see for yourself if the game is going to be fun, or are you going to be showing this to an audience of play testers? I think that's kind of like the distinction. Because if you're going to send the game to an audience of people who are going to be potentially like real players, then you can't. I don't know if it's. Yeah, I don't know. It depends on what your goals are, I guess. I think prototyping is mostly just for the developer, though. Whereas, like, sending it out to playtesters is more for when you have a final product or a final-ish product. I don't know. I use my looks to hide underlying problems. Games go against the idea of don't judge a book by its cover. True. Hello, Neozoid. So excited for GMTK 2025. Me too. Yes, Tree Branch. Let's see. Haven't been in the streams. Welcome back, Swiss Cheese. Good to see you again. Do you use a vertical mouse to help wrist pain, or do you do something else to help stop wrist pain? I have a wrist brace, and I also use this MX Master 3 Logitech mouse, which feels really good in the hand. So that's it. Branch gonna be the skip sign. Yeah, I want to do the bird, but I don't know. Let's see. Burb, crow. Make like a tree and leaf, right? Crow belly. Hello, Arion. Is this the pigeon of death? I know, it looks like a pigeon. Fire trucks are here. Well, sometimes fire trucks show up for a drill. I hope everyone's okay, though. You heard about the bird? The bird is the word. Oh, my goodness. Welcome, Adam. Good to see you. Head screams crow. The body says pigeon. I know. That's the thing. Attack of the killer pigeon. It could be a pigeon. A pigeon portending doom. Throw stitches on its neck and it's been Frankenstein from Two Birds. Good idea. Well, everybody knows that the bird is the word. Oh my gosh. Art by memory is hard, yes. I actually think that the body here, the only reason this screams pigeon, I think, is because of this. I think the tail end of the crow is not... It can't have too thick of a chest either, because that makes it seem like a pigeon as well. So maybe this needs to come in a little bit. That looks better. Yeah, crows are like... They're a little bit slimmer, I think. I'm just messing this up. I'm just trying to get a good shape in place. Now the wing looks weird too. It's just this whole half of the art looks a little bit weird. Did I do it? Damn it. Okay. I'm breaking down. Wish I could find one that's more like the profile that I'm using. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. All right. So... Okay. So the body here... It just kind of like... It's very slim and it just tapers into the point altogether. So the wing and the tails all taper together. So let's see. So yeah, I think I'm just going to use this red color to kind of like bring this out, and then this goes in like so. That's a little bit too straight of a line, so I might just... No. That might be okay. Actually, let me do it one more time. Nope. Okay, maybe that's better. And then the wings, they kind of start like up here. Just gonna fill all this in for now. Okay. Oops. That shape is better. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll add the details in a second. I just need to get the shape down, really. I think Crow's head sticks forward a bit more. Well, it's a little bit, in my art, it's rotated a little bit, right? Because both eyes are visible and the beak is like at an angle. Did too much bench press, yeah. Ate too many carbs. Must let us pet that dog. Are you using reference photos? Now I am. I try not to, though. I learn faster if I don't use the reference photos. I just finished your Udemy course for the Survivor 1. Going to give you a tile-based one a try. Any advantages of using C# or just preference? Yeah, just preference. Thank you, by the way, A-Bar. Very much appreciate that. C# is a lot faster than GDScript. It depends. There's not much of a speed difference if you're using the Godot APIs, because at the end of the day, if you call a Godot API, it has to be translated from the C# layer to the or to the Godot C++ layer, and then returned back to the C# layer. So any performance benefits you gain from C# are going to be only for those sections of code that don't interact at all with the GDScript layer. So if you were to write like a pure algorithm in the C# layer that doesn't interact with the Godot layer at all, then yeah, you'd probably see performance benefits compared to doing the same thing in what you call it, in GDScript. Isn't the crow nozzle larger? Yeah, I just made it a little bit bigger. Legs of crow start way further back than I realized. Yeah. Like the legs come out from way behind the head, but the feet are under the head. Yeah, I guess that's true. The feet are slimmer. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do the legs. I'm just trying to get the body shape done first. How's the course coming along? Good. I have 9 hours so far. Which encounter is this for? This is not for an encounter. This is going to be the back button for the game. Or so that you can exit an encounter. What softwares do you use for recording and editing the course? I'm looking for options to make my game trailer. I use DaVinci Resolve for editing and OBS for recording. I'm late today. That's okay, Adam. I do think the legs need to be more to the right. Yeah, we'll do the legs in a second here. New version is much more crowy. Yes, I think we're almost there. I think the fire alarm glitched or something. Nice. Welcome back. You're making a new course? Yes, online multiplayer cooperative game in Godot. All right, I'm way overdue for my break. Actually, I need a drink really badly. So I'll be right back in 2 minutes and then we'll continue on with this struggle here. All right, I'm back. All right. We have to make this crow work. So let's do this. I gotta do this. So that's fine. But there's like tail feathers under here too. I make it a little bit darker. I'm gonna try to use... I think the Cthulhu guy turned out really good because I was using a lot of the dark, like a lot of the black to create the shapes and whatnot. But yeah, let's fix the feet here. Should I just delete? Too late. So yeah, the feet start way back here, right? Let's see. And then bend forward. So we'll do something like this. So let's do the right foot, the crow's right foot first. I'll just kind of like throw some stuff on there. Trying to make the leg look a little bit knobby, you know what I mean? And then this one is going to be angled a little bit differently. So it's going to come out from like here. It's going to have probably a shallower angle. Or it might even face the other way. No, would it? No, it wouldn't. It would just have a shallower angle, I think. And again, we can make it look a little bit knobby. But it does need to be thicker up here. This... Okay. That doesn't entirely look right either. That looks better, actually. Okay. I wonder if the... It seems okay. I just gotta figure out what to do about this section now. Does the body need to be slimmer? I might... Hold on. He still looks a little bit too thick with two C's to be a crow. Might just do that and call it a day. Does that look better? I think it's getting there. I think it's getting there. Oops, what happened? It's starting to look like a crane now. Okay, we'll put that back. So there's still the issue of what to do about these things down here. Something like that, maybe. Get rid of this. Bring this up a little bit. How am I going to create the impression of feathers here? That's a good question. Without making it noisy. That's the trick. It's like, how do I do this without making it noisy? How are we feeling about that, though? Does that look more like a crow? Weird looking chicken. I like it, honestly. Thank you. What's he doing here? Let him cook. Howdy, looks good. Thank you. Flea button to the game using crow's flea art. Yeah, that could be flea, like a flea combat encounter might be an interesting idea. This is just going to be like your exit. Yeah. Okay, I think it's almost there. I just need... Maybe if I add, I'm just going to work a little bit on some highlighting here. Don't think I want to don't want to go overboard with it, but I might make this go back to that color. Maybe I don't need to add a bunch of detail to the... Maybe I don't need to add a bunch of detail to the wings here. I don't know why you're spending so much time fine-tuning individual pixels. The drawing's already done. You got the form and conception was already set up. Looks good, calm down. Well, okay. Well, thank you, but I'm just trying to... I think maybe what you're missing is I'm trying to make it match the style of the rest of the game. But this might actually be okay. I'm just like, the reason I'm placing these pixels is I'm trying to make sure that it's consistent with how the rest of the game is working, or looking rather. So that's why I'm fussing a little bit over the individual pixels here. Also, like, there's a big part of this too, which is I'm still learning. So if you see me placing and removing pixels all the time, it's because I'm just trying to test and see what looks good. You know, it's still very difficult for me, relatively speaking, to create pixel art. So a lot of it is like trial and error, trying to see what things look like when I place certain pixels in different spots. That's all. Okay. Now this tree branch is not super good. Although it might be okay. I think if I just extend it a little bit. Move this over here. I might take this actually. Okay, let's see if that works. Actually, this shouldn't even be here. Goodbye. Sweet. Okay. Let's see. I have a question. Yes, go for it. Crow, Jackie Daytona, I hope you just tuned into the stream and saw that, because that's going to be great. Because if you saw the earlier iterations of this, it looked more like a pigeon. So the fact, if you just joined the stream and you saw this and you immediately thought crow, my life is complete. So thank you. Hello, Camillo. What's the best render option so I can export the project on low devices? Using GL compatibility, is forward plus better for more devices playing? No, if you're, well, it depends. I think it's mostly the device age that matters and not necessarily how low or high end it is. Because even low end hardware that's modern is going to support the forward plus renderer. So if you're targeting old hardware like old mobile phones, then using the compatibility renderer is a good idea. I don't know what exactly you're doing, but if you're going to release a game on Steam, you can actually set launch options, which allows you to set a launch option for forward plus and one for compatibility, because you can change the renderer with a command line argument regardless of what the exported binary is. So the rendering server that your rendering method that you use when you export the game is the default one, but it can be overridden with a command line argument, which you can configure in Steam. So for Gunforged, for instance, when people go to click play Gunforged, they have an option of using OpenGL or Vulkan. And so that just like maximizes compatibility right there with one little setting. I don't know how it would work for like mobile devices though. Little details good in pixel art. Let the man cook. Backseat coders and artists, that's fine. People are welcome to share their feedback. Backseat guilty as charged. I sent you my game project for review yesterday. It's a first-person puzzle game, even though it may not be your strong suit. The game works, but the code and node structure is pretty messy. Yeah, I mean, all the projects are a candidate, so I'll definitely check it out. First thing I saw was a crow. Nice. Compatibility renderer was also good for web. Maybe. I don't know. I wish I knew more about that, but I don't think I do know enough. Okay, anyway. I don't think I'm going to add highlights to the branch here. Maybe I should. I don't know if it will look too busy with that. Let's see. It certainly gives it more texture. That's probably a good thing. Okay. I think that's fine. Now, should I make the crow blink? I don't think... Do crows blink? Chat, do crows blink? Okay, so they do. But they have like this little membrane, so that would work. I think what I could do for blinking is... Maybe I'll just use that color for the blink. So it changes it very slightly. I could also maybe just delete it. Or replace it maybe with this color. Now this is going to be another thing. How do I get the player to know that this is clickable? I'm always ending up in the same problem everywhere. Anyway. Gee dang it. Cool. Well, I hope that's going to be noticeable enough. We'll see. Compatibility is the only option that supports web because it has WebGL 2.0. I see. Do birds even have eyelids? I guess they do. They have like the little membranes. They have a membrane. Yeah. You guys are ridiculous. Yeah, there will be a tooltip. Yeah, for sure. Crows can mimic human speech. You can have a speech bubble that says exit under the player interacts with it once. Yeah, something like that. That'd be cool. But yeah, we'll just make this like a clickable element in an encounter, and then when you click it, there will be like a leave animation. That's going to be relatively hard to do because I also need to disable all the input and functionality. But also, if you've transferred a card... Oh, this is going to be hard. There's going to be a weird requirement here, which is that if you go to the upgrade, for instance, or alchemy, so the crow will appear up here like as a leave encounter. But if I have a card here and I click leave, that's going to be bad. So I'm going to need to have some like validation rules and stuff too. Because I can't just say, oh, we'll just put the card back in the player's inventory, because it's possible to rearrange your inventory and your grid in such a way that this card no longer fits anywhere. So I'm going to need to have a way of validating that you can actually leave the encounter. Interesting. Lots of tricky things to think about. What's up, dog? Oh, I can still hover over those things. Okay. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. Starting to really come together nice. Yes, it is. Thank you, Jackie Daytona. I'm very excited about it. There's still a bunch of problems that need to be solved, but... Oops, I need to commit this. Fix. Hard. Lock on auto resolve. And then work on skip encounter art. Some cool looking graves. Oh, don't even start with me. Have I played Inscription? I have not, no. I heard it's really good. It looks really good too, but... Okay, everybody. That's going to be it for the stream. It's time for McDonald's. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you all for being here. Very much appreciate it. And yeah, check out the links in the description below for all the ways you can support my work. I appreciate any and all support. And yeah, I'll see you back here tomorrow. Well, actually, plumbers are coming tomorrow finally, so I won't be streaming tomorrow, unfortunately. So I'll see you Thursday at 10 a.m. How about not being able to leave the encounter if you have a card outside your board or something like that? Yeah, I'm going to have to do something like that for sure. Please don't go. I'm sorry. All right. Bye-bye, everyone. And I'll see you on Thursday.